Hello everyone, this is Mr. Blevins, and today we're going to be finishing up our discussion about whole numbers with patterns in a table, otherwise known as an input-output table or a function. Now, to start with, we're going to look at an addition table, and when we look at an addition table, we need to find the missing add-ins, which would be the inputs, and the missing sums, which would be the output. So in this table, we can see that we're missing an add-in right here, and a sum here and here. So that means we're missing one input and two outputs. Now, to solve this table, we need to find the rule or the relationship. And the way we can do that is by finding how we changed our input to receive our output. And we can do that by subtracting an input from our output. So 11 minus 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1. So we get 10. So that means this might be plus 10. To check that though, we need to apply it to another row on our table. So 14 minus 4. Now, if this gives us 10, then we'll know our rule is correct. 4 minus 4 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. So again, we have plus 10. So that means our rule is plus 10 for all rows of our table. So I can quickly solve my row that begins with 2. 2 plus 10 is very easily 12, and 5 plus 10 is very easily 15. Now, I'm missing my input in row 3. So instead of adding 10, I'm going to subtract 10. So 13 minus 10, 3 minus 0 is 3, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So I get an input of 3, and then I should probably check my answer. Well, if 3 plus 10 is in fact 13, then I know my pattern is correct. And thankfully, it is. And we can compare our answers to the table below. So moving on to subtraction. When we look at a subtraction table, we need to find the missing subtrahends and the missing differences. Now, just like with addition, a subtrahend is the input and the difference is the output. So looking at our incomplete table here, I know I need to find an output here and an input here and here. So 12 minus something is something, but 16 minus something is 12. So that's where I should start. 16 minus 12 should give me my rule. Well, 6 minus 2 is 4, 1 minus 1 is 0. So right now I'm thinking my rule is minus 4, but to confirm, I need to do 24 minus 20. And if this gives me 4, I'll know I'm correct. 4 minus 0 is 4, 2 minus 2 is 0. So that means my rule is minus 4. So I can go ahead and fill in that on every row of my table. Now, 12 minus 4 is 8, so I'm going to fill that in. Blank minus 4 equals blank. Well, I'm going to skip that for now because that's kind of weird. But blank minus 4 is 24. Well, to find that, again, I need to do the opposite. So 24 plus 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 2 plus 0 is 2. So that means my input here is 28. Now, for the blank row, I could pick any number between 16 and 24 really, but as I'm looking at my table, I'm witnessing a pattern showing. I'm seeing that I'm counting by 4s here. 12 plus 4 is 16, plus 4 would be 20, plus 4 would be 24, plus 4 would be 28. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in 20 here. And on my outputs, I see the same pattern forming. 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, 16 plus 4 is 20, and 20 plus 4 is 24. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably the finished table. And I'm going to compare it to the answer and see if we're correct. And here we are. We see that everything matches up, and we're good to go on to multiplication. Now, multiplication, you do the same thing, except instead of add-ins or subtrahends, sums or differences, we're looking for factors and products. Now I'm going to show you the missing or incomplete table, and I want you to solve it using the same strategies we've learned. Remember, you might need to use division, and you might need to use multiplication. Take your time, pause it, and figure it out. Good luck. Remember to unpause it to check your answer when we're finished. Now, assuming you've unpaused it, you should have found that your rule was in fact times 10. And then you can apply this rule where you have inputs to find your missing output. So 6 times 10 is 60, and 8 times 10 is 80. Now, you're going to have to divide by 10 when you already know your output to find your input. Well, 20 divided by 10 is 2. And so this should give us our completed table, and it does match up successfully. Now finally, we're going to do the same thing with division. And again, to locate the missing divisors and quotients, you may need to multiply and you may need to divide. Again, you have an incomplete table, and I would like for you to take a few minutes by pausing this video and completing the table as you see fit. Take your time, use your strategies, good luck. Now, once you've returned, you should have found that your rule is actually dividing by 5. So, we should be able to see that 45 divided by 5 is 9, 30 divided by 5 is 6, 75 divided by 5 is 15. Now, you're going to have to multiply by 5 when you're missing your input, but you have your output. So, 3 times 5 is 15, and 12 times 5 is 60. So this should match our completed table. So let's find out. And yes, it does in fact. So that tells us that our table is not only completed, but it's completed successfully. And an incomplete table is just as bad as an incorrect table. So thank you for taking the time to solve this with us. Good luck, and see you next time. Bye.